Come on in the room.
Okay, praise and worship. Let's get it then. That girl, you might think we were going to the upper room with that one. I wasn't ready. What are we doing here? Hey,
Hey,
it's
y'all.
Dr. Dana and
It's Amber.
from Moms on Mind. She taking y'all to the upper room. I ain't ready yet, y'all.
Listen. Yes.
So, what we talking about today?
Well, okay. First of all, it's our season finale. It's our season finale. This has been great. We have thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yes, thoroughly we have, and thoroughly as well. I have enjoyed it though. I thought it was gonna be hard to do, but I think that the topics we talk about and the things that we bring to y'all are stuff that we talk about all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really so happy to share it with you. So please subscribe, tell other people. We're gonna have a season 2 because we enjoyed doing season 1.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. So we got to start off with while y'all are coming in and y'all are sharing Mommy
Mommy meltdown.
Meltdown. All right. You didn't have a Mommy Meltdown last week.
Oh, girl.
You
I
got
got
one
one.
this week?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Let's hear it.
So my daughter has started soccer. And I really eye you side eye you real big because you didn't tell me, sis, you did not prepare the non-sports. My oldest is 5, so this
Uh,
is the first time I've had to do organized sports with her. Shout out to I9, I like it.
oh, Lord.
I really do like they have principles and
That's
stuff.
good.
But since I came out there, just me, look, me, my husband, the little 2-year-old came out there. We ain't had no stroller. We were looking at it. First of all, it's like a massive explosion of cars and people everywhere. It looked like we going to a
Right.
NFL game when we go football over here, soccer over here, is everything going on. Then everybody strolling and
Baseball.
pulling stuff. I said, where the people going with all this stuff? Are they moving in?
You ain't had no chairs?
Girl, no, Amber, you ain't tell me about no chairs. I ain't had
No
no chairs.
tent?
I didn't have no tent. I didn't even have the stroller. Do you hear me? All I brought was the iPad and didn't even think that if you're gonna bring an iPad, sis, bring some headphones because she's not gonna sit down. So every 5 minutes, me and Ralph was running up, pulling Bella off the field, talking about tag me in, my turn. Honey, you are not even a part of this game, okay?
Wait, but did you at least bring some snacks and some cold water, cold
Yeah,
Gatorade?
I did bring that. I
Okay.
brought snacks, cold water, and I had like a little cooler that we
Yeah.
had. But I had trying to get Bella to sit on the cooler just so she can sit down. We in the grass popping a squat, which I didn't really care about, but it was hot. Okay, because I still live in Texas and we still in hurricane season
Yeah,
and
it's hot.
changing. I was out there sweating like baby. It was, and then I'm on the grass, Bella running around, Ralph trying to coach and do the
Wait. He's trying to coach on the sidelines.
well, he coaching Madison. Him and Madison. My oldest is a daddy's girl, and she loves him. He loves her. She's gonna marry him, and you ain't telling her different right now, okay? So he
Oh.
just on the sidelines. Oh, it was epic. She was just eating it up. She loved it. She did really good, but I was out there melting down. I'm just not prepared. Why Amber didn't say I was really bad at you? I really wanted to call you and give you some non-Jesus words afterwards. Cause I was like,
Yeah, first
I'm
time
hot,
talking on.
I'm sweating. You didn't even tell me not to bring the 2-year. I didn't even bring no stroller. It's people got tents up in
Did you
here.
do sunscreen at least?
I did that. I did do that. But
Okay.
girl,
Okay.
and the worst part about it, afterwards, I called myself going to a cabin. They ain't got no more wagons.
Oh,
They
yes, girl.
Girl, I ain't got no wagon or nothing. I got some chairs. I wasn't gonna fool with that tent because I know Raph ain't gonna fool with it, so that's a no-no. But
Sometimes the team will call, like the team mom or something will have a 10 or
hashtag I am not the typical soccer mom. Okay.
you gonna get it. This your first time. It's okay. You'll come around. You'll come
I
around.
mean, I really enjoy watching her play, and I really enjoy being there. And like, I want her to do organized sports, and it's outside, so it's safe.
Yeah.
But child, next time, send me the Cliff Notes version of what I need to be bringing. Okay, don't put me out there like that because I was like sweating, angry, hot, like like where the food truck lady
She did good though, didn't she?
she did, and she enjoys it. So I think we're gonna stick with this for a little while, see where it goes. But that was my mama's
Oh.
meltdown. Amber hating on me, didn't tell me what I was supposed to bring.
Listen, y'all. I don't know how Dana did it, but some kind of way my phone number is associated. She a new sports mom, y'all. My phone number is associated with her daughter's soccer. So every Friday, I get a nice little text message that says, Madison's game is at 9:00 a.m. Field 4.
Listen, don't do
Wear
that.
your
Don't do that.
gold jersey.
Listen, Amber found the team for me. I ain't even gonna lie. I was like, I don't even know what to do. She's like, girl, Aiden been at soccer for go do this. So I'm signing her. I don't put her number down like she dang on parent. Like, okay.
I'm getting all the messages.
I said, thank you. Any updates today? Girl, did you know I put my name down and I said I could be a coach? Girl, they emailed me. Thank God I don't check my email like that.
Oh my God, you really are a new soccer mom. Who puts their name down to be the coach?
I said, possible. I thought that was like, the assistant. I'm the like cheerleading coach. Like, I don't know. I don't know nothing about soccer. I'm just gonna be honest. It's goal. That's all I know. Okay.
That is so funny. Okay, let me see. Did I have a mommy meltdown? I think I did good this week.
You did. Well, last week was a whopper. So,
we're not even gonna go there.
Do you have an update?
I do not have an update yet.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to let the community know. I don't. Yes. She's talking about y'all need to go listen to the last episode if you hadn't already. But my last mommy meltdown was about my son's gifted and talented appeal. So I will keep you all posted, even though it's our last episode. I will update on Moms and the Mind.
Please do, because I'm interested.
What happens? Okay.
So what we talking about today?
Okay, so we figured we're moms, we've been talking about mental health and parenting and all these other things this whole season. This is our final episode, and we just wanted to talk about being a mom.
Yeah, we shall be.
Like, we can talk about being a sports mom, being a Black mom, like, because you're entering the sports world. So we can go through all of that. Just being a MOM.
I mean, I feel like motherhood just like changes your life in so many ways. Like, you already know your time is going to be different. Your, the things that your priorities are going to be different. Your money going to be different. Everything is going to be different.
Say that again, though, for the people in the back. Your money.
Oh, sis. School, shoes, clothes,
daycare.
Everything is it. You don't even shop the same. I go in there and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go get myself something. Oh, it's gonna be great. I go in there because I don't have no clothes, right? Because I'm still my child 5. I'm still got some maternity clothes I'm wearing. Don't hate on it. I do.
I can't hate.
And I go in TJ Maxx. I'm gonna give me some little keep stuff. I come out with 6 outfits for both of the girls.
Well, you know what? And let's talk about this being a mom, because at least you coming out with clothes for the girls. You go into the boys section, and the girls section this big, taking up half of the store.
I smell a hater. Go ahead. What was saying?
The boys section is like this itty bitty rack. For all the boy stuff,
everything's flat.
The size is 18 months to 7 years old, and these little bitty rack right here. Boy moms, can I get a drop a blue heart in the chat if you're a boy mom? because the
Don't
struggle is
give
real
special shout outs
when it comes
because
to clothes.
guess what? You ain't got to pay for all these accessories that go on. And the Lord really played a trick on me because I don't do no hair and I got two girls. The hair bows. They don't never come home with them. Okay. Never ever.
Yeah, I'm just getting into that.
The outfits, all that stuff. Oh, girl.
Yes, the 1-year-old is a girl, and so we did the bows, but
Girl, stick to the
we'll
headbands while you can, girl.
Okay, so let's talk about this though sports mom thing because you're entering the sports world.
Yeah, it's a whole situation because let me know. I want to talk about it.
Well, okay, so but for me, I mean my child has played a lot of sports, but not like competitive. I'm not one. He is not really into the, I guess, competitive sports. Right. Like we're not ready to pay all that money for select.
Right. Is
For
that what they call
select.
it?
Mm-hmm. So we played baseball, soccer, basketball, flag football, and we did hockey.
Did you?
We did.
In Texas?
In
Texas?
We did hockey. It's a free program with the Dallas Stars. You could sign up and you could try it for I think it's like 6 weeks, and you can try it. It's totally free. See if you like it, because hockey is expensive. So if you like it, you would have to get all the gear and stuff. So they let you do this trial run, and then at the end you get free tickets to the Stars game.
Nice.
If you're in the Dallas area.
Nice.
So we did do that. But here is what I found the interesting thing with sports moms. My nephew went through select baseball all throughout high school. So I've heard things with my sister and stuff.
Right.
And just being in school, there are a lot of people who are so vested, or moms or parents who are so vested in the sports that they change schools. Have you heard that parents hold their kids back a year?
Yes, they do. Yes,
so that they can be bigger and get,
especially in football, I think,
get more scholarships.
I've heard of football. Yes.
That was interesting to me. And even if your child is playing t-ball and stuff or little league, they will hold them back in kindergarten for that reason too. Just because the mindset is that my child is going to play sports.
In little league?
Yeah, well, just because you're oh, my child is so small and I want them to play sports, they'll hold them back in kindergarten for sports.
Wow.
Have y'all ever heard that?
Have
you ever done that?
High school or stuff like that. Yeah.
But in Texas now, you can't do that after a certain year. I think it's I want to say 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade. You can't hold them back after a certain year. So that's why they started doing it early in elementary.
But I feel like this sports word is just a whole nother word. It's just even the dialogue. And I like it. I wanted to get her into community sports for all of the reasons of, being on an organized team, figuring out good sportsmanship, because sis do not like to lose, honey. Also having friends outside of school. And that's another thing that we really need to talk about. Developing relationships with other soccer moms and stuff. It's I don't know. It's not a cult or something. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to help me out with that, sis. I don't know what you're trying to.
But I feel when you go to those select teams or stuff like that, the way I hear parents talk about it, it's it can be cliquish.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe not at the league or the level we are right now, because, we see kids and we just sitting there trying to encourage the kids. But at the same time, you could tell when a parent is really into sports and they're putting their pressure on their kids, because you want them to be there because it's positive and they're learning stuff and they're engaging with people and they're staying active. Those are all the pros that people like about it. But then all the pressure. Like if you think you are just starting your kid off in soccer, but you think your girl, she gonna be Mia Hamm, she gonna be on the U.S. World Olympics team, and you sitting there like this dude, the show was like straight going off on the coach, going off on the referee, like cursing, like these 5-year-olds, sir. This not.
Wait, at your girls' game?
One of the parents, because they're little, and I guess they couldn't hear the whistle from the ref or something, and then so the coach had told them to stop, but it was a mistake, and the girl was trying to like do a goal, and she made it, but it didn't count, and so the parent was like 38. Like I was like, you know how you looking at somebody and you like, and then they look like you, and you be like, oh, don't.
Okay, so 2 questions. One, and it depends on your area, but like what we find here a lot of times is that we are the only minority, or not minority, but we might be our only Black kid on the team. Is that how your team is?
We have one other, but she's mixed. She's Black and white. Her mom is white. Her dad is Black.
Okay, I think that's another. I don't know, something you go through as moms, like because I know a girl.
I did notice.
She was trying to get this all girls Black soccer team.
Really?
Like, yeah, she was doing it. And so it was pretty, and it wasn't because you just want to separate per se, but it was because in the area that you're in, you don't see a lot of diversity at their schools. Depending on what church you go to, you may not see a lot of diversity. And so that was just like one of the areas she really wanted her child to kind of connect with people who looked like her. And so I don't know, that was interesting. We could never find it in our area.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I noticed, like, because they do like a practice and then the game, first. So it's like 40 minutes practice. And I do notice that the Madison and this little girl tend to congregate together, and partially I think it's too because they're one of the old, because it's 4 and 5-year-olds, so they're the oldest, but they're also 2 of the only ones of color too. And I noticed that they tend to like hit the ball with each other and stuff like that. So I found that interesting. Now other kids would come over and play with them. They're not self-selecting them out or anything.
Right.
It's just the initial, like, we're gonna go out there and we're supposed to be kicking the ball. That I just noticed it to happen. But I will say I'm looking at other teams, and I say it's okay. It's like 2 Black girls on each team, or a Black girl with maybe another minority is there, or something like that. I noticed. But it is interesting because, I was having this conversation with my husband too, just about, being a mom and trying to get your kid into stuff, because I want her to experience stuff that I didn't get to experience. So I want her in swimming. I want her in soccer. Like we have her going to a music class as well. And
I got to go to everything.
I thought you was laughing. So the music class is at the School of Rock. Why are you laughing? Because you already know what I'm about to say, right? So the music class is at the School of Rock, right? And so my child be coming home. We will rock you. Daddy, can you put that sugar song? Can we play Baby? And my husband's like, why is she going to the School of Rock? I said, well, I want her to experience all things, not just, I mean, she can sit in your car and listen to Not Kids Bop. Okay.
Right. Well, and look, I feel that because my family still talk about me for trying hockey, because it just wasn't your sport that your typical Black child would do. But like we played tennis, and we're gonna do golf too. So like, I think like you said, as a mom, you kind of just want your child to experience a number of things and then figure out what their interest is, and then we could cater to their interest, but not want to limit them just because Black kids typically don't do.
Right, they got to be in the basketball, soccer. Yeah. Well, why he can't be on the National Junior Society academic team, or why he can't do golf? You know what I'm saying? Right. Why he can't do lacrosse or stuff? Right. You don't think about those sports as much.
Do you get a lot of kids, or not a lot, but do you get kids coming to you that's in sports, that puts the pressure on themselves and just maybe struggle with depression and anxiety, but yet is in a lot of sport activities too?
Yeah, especially if they are kiddos who are very good at it, and there's a certain type of benefits for them and their family. Like if you're thinking about a kid who's doing really well, they're being scouted in high school, there's a lot of pressure on them to perform with, especially like high school senior year, junior year. I mean, even though like if it's a kid to that to that degree, they've already in 9th, 10th, 11th, there's some form of, I know that this is coming up, but there's a lot of anxiety and sometimes depression, but they go hand in hand anyway, around performing well, doing well, being all that they can be, and what this means for my family. And I often think about, that for especially Black kids in sports, carrying the family versus, why aren't they carrying the family with going to Harvard or the Ivy League school and things like that? I think about that aspect of it, but I also think of the pressure that kids put on themselves to try to be the adult in the household, and not to say that the parents are doing it to them at all, but it's like, I've noticed that kids at that age want to parent adults just like they, adults are trying to parent them as well.
Right. Okay, but that makes me think too, because like I feel like in the Black community, a lot of times, and I don't know, this might be, I don't know, other people might have different experiences, but like we typically hear, you either hear one or the other. Like you hear, oh, you're gonna go to college. No, you're not gonna go straight to NFL or NBA, whatever.
Right.
You're gonna go to college and you're gonna finish college. You need a college degree.
Yes.
Whereas like sometimes on the other hand, you hear the extreme of you gotta excel in the sports because this is what's gonna carry us. This is what's gonna make us, And I feel like there has to be this good balance, because I don't think that college is necessary for everybody, And if you can make some money without going to college.
But that takes us to where the struggle is too with the NCAA, right? Because now they're looking at how all these kids, all these schools, top tier school, are making all this money off these kids. Some of these kids will go on to the pro, some of them will not, but they're doing it in an effort to better their families, better some type of system, and the schools are making bank off of them. Why these kids ain't making money at that level?
Well, and now they are able to make some money off
because they realized,
Well, and then like it depends on the sport too, because some sports you can go straight to, the leagues. Like baseball, you can go to the minor leagues from high school, and then you remember basketball, you used to be able to go straight to the NBA, like LeBron in them year. I think that was the last year because that was around the time we graduated, but not to give us our age.
Keep it to yourself, miss.
But now you have to go to college. But okay, so anyway, so that's being a sports mom. Drop something in the chat if you're a sports mom. What do you think about being a sports mom? What are some of the challenges? Of being a sports mom. We're new to this, so help us out a little bit.
I'm real new, can't y'all tell? I don't even know what's going on. I just don't even know.
Oh, okay. Other aspects of motherhood.
But I want to talk about this too, as it relates to sports mom, but not about like extracurriculars in general too. Like planning, because sometimes my thought is I can't overplan myself to get my kids in all these activities, and there's a balance, right? There's a part of me that's guilty that I don't have my kids in 50,000 activities. Then there's another part that says, why am I planning my kids' day like that? Because that's not essentially time with me. That's time for putting them in activity, but that doesn't translate as me time with them too.
Right.
And is it causing more stress on the entire household for them to be on 50 different things?
And see, my child, he in piano, he in swimming, he in soccer, he in Awana. So I feel like we do 50,000 things, but I don't know. And I've heard people say, even I think my sister have said to me, like, I'm not you, that's team too much. We're not doing all that. You pick one activity and that's it. So I think it depends on the child, and I think it depends on, every family is different, like what works for you. I don't feel like I run myself crazy. But then again, I'm the type of person where if it wasn't like before him, I was in 50,000 things. Like
Right.
I was in this club or this organization or, volunteering here or going to this meeting it just switched now. For me, it's like now it's just my child doing it as opposed to me doing everything. And then I'll take my day on Sunday or, whatever. But like, some people are not like that. Like some people in general are just not that type of person that's going to be running around doing everything, and they
kind of a little bit
prefer
more
to just be. Yeah. So I think my personality in being involved and being more active kind of transfer over to my kid and him being involved in me, and it didn't stress me out as much. Now, and do I get stressed out and then you have to tell me maybe you should skip something?
I was thinking that when you were saying, I was like,
yes, that happens, but I'm telling you, I can't sit.
Yeah.
Like I'm just not a person that can just sit. Like I have to make myself sit down. So
I feel like I'm like that to a certain degree too. There's always something going on. There's always multiple things going on too. But I think what you said about what works for your family is very important too, right? Because mine and Raf's work schedules are really crazy. And so I find that I want to preserve some time for the family and that I get overwhelmed. And it's only like my 2-year-old's not in anything.
Yeah.
Right? So I have a little bit of a luxury that she's still not in anything and I only have 2. Whereas people, when they have older kids, it's hard. If you got one kid in something, you're definitely not going to say, oh, well, Susie can't go into it too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that contributes to it, that, how old your kid, what the family unit is like and things like that. So I'm like, okay, well, we started off with gymnastics. We had put that on hold. We're doing soccer now. When soccer ends, then we'll do swimming. And swimming is a thing we have to get done by the end of by the next summer. And then we'll go back to some of the other things. But we do like the Church of One online. Like if that is good for us because it's the pandemic. We haven't been going to church as much and it's convenient because it's online, and trying to stagger some of those things too, because it does stress me out when I'm like running to get to things and then I'm flustered and irritable and then she can't enjoy it either because I'm rushing trying to get there.
Fussing at her.
Yeah. So now I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this on this day, this on this day. I'll take you to this. Daddy will take you to music. And then we alternate for soccer kind of because he'll like take a late day and go and stuff like that. So I do think it's dependent, but I feel like there is a such thing as overscheduling though. And I know sometimes that people are not cognizant of it, but I also feel like organized sports or organized things are so important, especially now in the pandemic where the school is cut off and kids are not socializing as much in school with the mask, or the activities that were in school are not there because of a safety issue.
Right. Well, I think sometimes for us as moms, especially those of us who tend to overschedule, is that we also think that like they're going to be 18 or they're going to grow up, and there's only this limited amount of time that you have to like enjoy these different activities with them. And so even if it's a little stress, that's why I tell my husband, it's okay. It's not going to be like this forever. That's how you feel a little stressed for a little bit. It's okay. Time is gonna go by. That probably ain't even the right advice.
It don't even matter long as he going by his business. You get to do what you want to do.
It's okay. It's okay. Time is gonna pass by, and then we're gonna miss these mommy moments because they're gonna be so old.
Don't start crying, girl. Because I know how you get emotional.
I'm already praying for future wives. Okay,
child, help them because the prophet is something, baby. Okay, don't mess with them. But overall, I feel like even with or without, doing organized sports or when I do have them or don't, I enjoy being a mom. As much as I complain about, oh, they took this and they took this and I want them to go in bed and this, I do enjoy it. And I feel like it's changed my life for the better. I'm much more responsible because I have people to be responsible for. I definitely manage my time better. Probably to a fault because I have a schedule in my head. Like I'm always working off an internal clock of bedtime, organized sports, these types of things. And I think just trying to maintain that work-life balance over the last year, especially with the pandemic, has been very extremely hard. But overall, I think the kids feel like it's going well from me talking to them about it.
Okay, well, let's talk about work-life balance.
Let's talk about it.
And being a mom.
Yes.
And then, you have that stay-at-home mom versus work, outside working mom.
Bringing out fight words over here now.
I know. And listen, this is no shade to if you work at home or if you stay at home. I don't think I could be a stay-at-home mom. Like, it's just too much work.
Shout out to all the stay-at-home moms. You are the real
Shout out.
Because the pandemic taught me it was a no for me. Okay.
And I put too much pressure on myself and my kids for me. Not to say I couldn't do it, right? But
it was just hard for you, I feel like, in the pressure of trying to make it, being the only one to make everything keep going too. I think that's the hard part about it, right? Because then you're always on as a stay-at-home mom. During the pandemic, I was the teacher. I was the principal. I was the chef. I was the cook. I was, everything they need to be, the chauffeur, everything. And I realized that, not that I thought that stay-at-home moms really had it easy because, when you take your time out and you have a baby initially, right after you give birth, you notice all the work and effort that it goes into it. And a child growing older and being more independent actually has more responsibility for you to be able to teach them, engage with them, and show them the right way to do things. It doesn't really make it that much easier. And so I feel like, the pandemic taught me that stay-at-home mama is hard, yo. It is super hard. And, people think it's this easy life. They're just breezing around, sitting around doing nothing all day. And that's not necessarily what it is. What I also found out that a lot of stay-at-home moms, especially in 2021, they have maybe side businesses or other areas of interest that they're also cultivating. And so it is also can be isolating to be a stay-at-home mom because you have to find your people. Now, do I be jealous of y'all out there in the park or in my little neighborhood thing to get to work out, y'all fine and fit and get the hell wine? Yes, I am, honey. I be hating. Okay. But you have girl, I do be happy. So man, I be like, look at Susie out there looking all fine, going power walking with her kid, while I'm driving to work. But I do feel like it can be isolating if you don't know your people or find your people. That's why they have all these apps out here for you to reach out to moms. It can be hard when you're always on with your kid, and especially if you have multiple kids back to back. That can be hard. And there are higher rates sometimes of depression, anxiety that you see sometimes in stay-at-home moms with these, like the expectations that you were talking about, placing on yourselves to be the perfect mom and to always be there. And like in psychiatry, we have this thing called the good enough mom, which means you don't have to be perfect. Kids do not need a perfect mom because there's no perfect people. You just have to be good enough to supply their needs and understand your child. And that's all a child requires: time, a lot of love, being able to understand and be good enough for them. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have the perfect pictures, the perfect look, the perfect, house, the perfect job. You can live in an apartment. You can do all those things and still be a perfect mom to it, in a sense. And so I think there's an error of that, or there's a perception that stay-at-home moms are perfect at everything,
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can see that. I never really thought about it from that perspective, to be honest. Because sometimes, even though I don't desire at this time to be one. Sometimes I am like, well, I am thinking, I gotta work. I gotta come home and still do all the cooking, all the cleaning. And I mean, my husband is great. He helps out a lot. But sometimes I'm like, you stay at home.
Right.
Sorry.
Oh, them kids get sick. It's you this time, bro. It's you. Let me see what you're working with. Man, these kids over here. Oh, no. Don't want to hear it. You know?
So yes, that was a good perspective though about just it being lonely sometimes and just that was pretty good.
You know, yeah, because you always on. You know,
Mm-hmm.
remember, you always on. You always have to have a solution. You always have to have an answer to things. And there are other responsibilities that you pick up on. If I had to clean my house daily, oh, no. That would be very, because you feel like you're at home by the house clean or cooking more often. I was reading an article today that said working moms cook about 2 to 3 times a week. Girl, I said 2 to 3 times a week. These people getting off on me over here, okay?
How many times you cook?
Like 3 to 4.
Oh.
It's 7 days in a week. And now Fridays and Saturdays is every man for himself all the time.
I was about to say, I think that was the problem. It's like we spending more money eating out because it's just, if you have a late day, you working, and then you late picking the kids up, but I will say, yesterday I'm trying to do more meal planning, and I made 3 meals yesterday for the week.
Girl,
I'm so proud of myself.
Who been transplanted in your brain?
I know, right? But I'm trying. It's because of that article. We only, cooking 2 to 3 times a week, and so we spending all this money on fast food. And as a mom, I'm trying to be better about being around to see my kids and my kids being around to grow up older and be healthy in their older ages, and so trying to get them more healthy options to eat instead of fast food all the time.
I guess I should do that as well.
I mean, it's tough, but something have to think about.
Yeah, for sure. But in the last couple segments, it's time for our question of the day. We should have some music. But anyway, our question of the day today. So I'm going to read it. How do you respond to kids when they do something wrong? I guess don't want to over apologize. So the mom is saying that, sometimes her kid does something, her kid is anxious, and she doesn't want her kid to over apologize for something. She's like, I don't want to make them feel wrong. I'm a reformed perfectionist myself, and I'm trying not to implant those ideas in my kid. And I want to know, how do I respond to my kid when they do something wrong so they're not over apologizing over and over and over again? That's a good question.
That's a really good question, because I have this. Yeah. Because my child apologizes all the time. Like, it's constantly, I'm sorry. Like, you tell him to do something. He's like, I'm sorry. And it's like, you don't have to say I'm sorry. Just say yes, ma'am, or yes, sir, or, just answer the question. You don't have to apologize. So that's really like.
And so I think, my oldest is kind of like that too, because she's a little bit more sensitive. And I find it more with anxious children, because like we talked about, anxiety and perfectionism in the last segment, they kind of are hand in hand in a way. And so one of the things that you have to keep in mind as a parent, and remember, you are their coach. Let's go back to the sports mom analogy. You are, in rearing a child, you are their biggest fan. You are the cheerleader. You are the coach. You are the water boy. You are everything. So remember, when you're trying to redirect your child or rear your child into something else, you're coaching your child. And that's the way you should take it. This is training for your child. Not this is let me beat them down for something that they're saying. The other thing with people who are anxious, or people that are are perfectionistic, they are very sensitive to tone. So if I tell my kid, or if I ask them, oh, you stepped on my foot, versus, and it was a mistake for them. She's like, I'm sorry, versus, oh, Maddie, you're stepping on my foot, you know it reads two different ways because they're very sensitive to tone. So always try to come from a calm tone. And I'm very bad about that because I'm very like off the cuff with most things, as you probably can see. And so that's one thing I strive to work on. Another thing is encourage them to correct themselves by asking them, why do you think that wasn't the right thing to do? You're not in trouble right now, but I just want to know what your response would be. Because then in an effort, you're engaging them to problem solve and try to correct themselves. And that is more better than like you just telling them indefinite, like kind of handing it down to them. Like, because we want it to be like a coach, right? So you want to engage them in learning and being able to respond to you, even though you may be upset or irritated with what they did, but are able to engage them so that they are part of the process. And stay away from blaming language. A lot of times, when people are doing something wrong, we want to place blame on kids or in any situation. But the blame game didn't get you anywhere below self-esteem. And, and it's not helpful. Responsibility is better than blame. And those are two different things.
And I also think sometimes we have to learn not to say anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes like we don't have to correct them all the time. Like, and I think that's one thing that I had to realize too, is that sometimes it's okay to just not say anything. Let them problem solve, or even figure out, especially when you have a child that's a little bit more sensitive, is it really a big deal to point out every little thing? And sometimes we have to reflect and say, well, they're kids. Like in our heads, we have to reflect and remind ourselves that for the child. I remember we were making blueberry muffins together, and we were baking together. And of course, like the eggs got all over the place and the mix was flying all over the place. And you're trying to teach them how to cook it, right? Like you're coaching them through how to bake this so that we can do it the next time. And eventually, like now they can pretty much do it without me. But I remember like just kind of correcting every little thing. And then it was a constant.
It's not a fun experience.
Yes, it was like and then I realized, just let them have fun with it. It's okay if it comes out rubbery. We can go up the street.
I hate that we do an art project and it got to look perfect like the box or something.
Right. So we could go, if it doesn't come out and taste good, we'll go buy some from the store. But let's just have fun and let them have this experience. So I had to take a step back. I mean, I'm going to tell you, it was dough everywhere. Like it was stuff everywhere by the end, because I just decided that I was just going to let it go, let it be. Have a fun experience. And then as we kept doing it, they got better, they learned, so I think
let it go.
And I took that into other things. Like sometimes I have to remind myself that it's not always important to correct every little thing, like it to even help their self-esteem.
But and the last but not least, so this is one thing they taught us in like when I was in med school, to how to give criticism or critique, and then we call it the sandwich method. I don't know if it's called other things somewhere else, but when you're trying to tell somebody they're doing something wrong, or you may think it may be a critique, giving them something good about them, the bad thing,
Oreo.
All the Oreo. Okay. Like, oh my God, I really liked how you showed initiative. You did excellent trying that task. Now, the way you did this was not correct, and this is how to correct it. But you put forth a good effort, and I like the tenacity, and I think that you're going to do great when you start it all over again. Boom.
Boom.
Okay. So using those things, remember, use the sandwich method, monitor your tone. Remember that you're your kid's coach. Engage them in helping you out, or learning about what the issue is, and encourage them to correct themselves, and stay away from blaming them for everything, because that's not going to get you anywhere.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Last thing, we're closing up. It's the final episode. We're thoroughly, did I say that right? Thoroughly? Yeah. Enjoy you all and this season.
Yes.
Okay. So as we go, Dana, what is one of your favorite things about being a mom? and then we'll close out. And so I'll start while you think. I
Mm-hmm.
think my favorite thing about being a mom is just to see, honest, to see them grow. Like to see, I think as an educator and a teacher, one of the favorite things about being a teacher is seeing that aha moment. You teach something and then your kids get it. And I think being a mom, just seeing them grow and go from level to level to level,
Right.
regardless of what it is, regardless of if there's a delay in one area, there's still always growth, right? Different rates. And I think that is the favorite thing, especially having three and they all grow at different rates, but seeing that progression,
Go and go.
I think it's the world.
You know, my favorite things, I have so many. I think one of my favorite things is when they wake up. Like my kids wake up mad early, y'all, like 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock. It's like on the weekend. But at the same time, they run down the stairs. They come and get in the bed with us. And then we'll sit there. And sometimes Rapper's like half sleeping, snoring, and then half awake. And we're sitting there talking. And Madison just like rattling stuff off of her head. And Bella's like talking about this and trying to copy her. And it's just like a real, like the family time. Like I love those times we're just sitting around doing nothing, but it's so engaging for them. You know, and I'm just listening to their thought process and and Madison's telling me all about this, like little moments like that, like even me driving them to school, like the days, like we alternate who drives them to school depending on like when we have to be at work. And like the stuff that we talk about, and then we like do morning prayer, and like the stuff that she asked me these questions. I'm like, oh my God, like, where did you get that from? Like, you know, like, how did you even think of that? You know, and so I enjoy those little moments where they want to engage with you and they want to talk to you, and they're like, Mommy, come play with me and let's do this. And we're doing dance parties because I know it's gonna come a time where they're gonna cast me to the side and they don't want to talk to me. And these will be like the little moments I hold on to when she's like jacking up my braids and about to pull my edges out, trying to do my hair in the morning. So that's kind of it's a little moment, but I love them, you know.
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Yes.
Let us know what is your favorite thing about being a mom. Just type it below. We'll love to hear from you. Continue to follow us, even though this is the season finale, and be on the lookout for season 2.
Yes. Thanks, guys. It was great to be with you.